Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Travel Without a Cause. We are coming at you again from South Louisiana, Broussard, Louisiana, to be exact. And I got kind of a spooky one for you today again. If you watched my last vlog, I started kind of touching on the subject of Halloweenish type things. And it's kind of my escapism way of thinking to propel myself into a cooler time of year because I just can't stand this heat anymore down here. It's ridiculous. Plus, it's kind of getting that time of year where it's starting to get into the fall slowly. We're not really near that yet, but it's kind of my way of kind of, propelling myself there mentally because I don't like this heat anymore. But anyway, this house you see behind me, this beautiful Victorian here in Broussard, built in 1908, is actually now a restaurant called Nash's Restaurant. It's been a restaurant for years now, and it's got quite the little family history to it. And a little bit of a ghost story to it. So thought you guys might find it intriguing. And without further ado, I'll go ahead and flip the camera around, tell you more about the history of it all, and let you decide for yourself. If you're anything like me, and you like Southern culture, you like history, you like historical places like this, and architecture and all that, and then you add in a ghost story, that's pretty hard to beat. So if you're into it, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, so you know when I post more videos just like this one. So without further ado, let's go ahead and turn the camera around and get right into it. Let's go. So situated here in the heart of Broussard, Louisiana, on the corners of East 2nd and North Morgan Streets, sits this beautiful Victorian house built by the Como family back in 1908 and has been Nash's Restaurant here for many years now. As you can see here, it's got this gorgeous wraparound, almost like a bay, exaggerated bay window system going here, this window lined corner of the house here. Definitely considered fine dining by all means, and it's authentic Italian food, seafood, steaks, all that stuff. It's really good. Highly recommended. If you're in the area, stop by and have a good lunch or dinner here and experience the charm of old Southern Victorian architecture. But tell you a little bit about the house here and the history. So the Victorian house with a wraparound porch and an onion-shaped cupola, which we'll kind of see here on the other side. We've seen them before many times. Very popular for that time frame and that Victorian architecture. You see it there in the back. You see them on a lot of old banks too. It was built in 1908 for Edmund Joseph Como and his wife Cecile Lena St. Julian. Inside is a gracious staircase leading to the second floor, fireplaces, and an exquisite bar area. Mr. Como operated a mercantile in town and served as postmaster of Broussard at that time. And the couple had one child, Walter St. Julian Como, who married Carmen Emilie Labe. Walter Como and his wife had 8 children, one of whom was Edmund Joseph Como II. The restaurant is currently owned by Nash Baraka, a third-generation restaurateur from New Orleans. And according to The Haunted Table, which is a publication that went out in 2011, they chalked up the paranormal activity in the house to a mischievous child named Edmund. I'll show you some of the side of the house here. Try to get as much of it as I can. It's not open on Sundays or Mondays, and I kind of didn't really have the desire to go inside the house during operating hours, just because, it's not a restaurant review by any means, and it's not a ghost hunting channel. But these windows at this whole front of the building, and including that upper area there, the windows are basically wide open. You can see right through them. So kind of creepy in a way, because if we were to see anything at all, there's plenty of opportunity to do so because these windows are wide open. But lovely architecture. If you watch any of my channel at all, you know that I love these Victorians. I just think they're gorgeous houses. One day I hope to afford one myself. I'd love to live in one. There's that onion-shaped cupola at the top. Now, from what I've understood in the past, or in recent past, is that those cupolas served as like a heat extractor. Like you could almost open the top of them and it kind of works as a vacuum and sucks the heat from the floors below them and out of the top of them. And which obviously living in the South, especially I could tell you, living in this area right now, this heat is stupid ridiculous. There's nothing fun about it whatsoever. And as you can see, it's elevated off the ground there, as most houses were back then, just because of the heat. It was all based on climate, you know. Nice sitting area out here. You saw this tree in the opening scene, but very dated indeed. I'd be interested to know if that tree was here when the house was built. The house is only about 115 years old. I say only. So wouldn't be far-fetched to think that that tree is about that old too. Maybe glamps. give you a glimpse of the inside of the restaurant here. See if I can show you some of the other side of it too. Some more glimpses of the inside. Sorry, I'm trying to get that glare out of there. Most likely, seemingly, from what it looks like, is that this used to just be a big wraparound porch, and then they closed it in with glass for the restaurant purposes, because it looks like the outside of the house is right through those windows on the other side of those tables there, which is a pretty genius idea, because it's just glass all the way, 180 degrees around the whole entire front of the house. Now, going back to the mysterious or mischievous supposed spirit of the little boy named Edmund that lives here, they said he died in the home of a fever when he was only 4 years old. And that's according to one of the previous owners of this building, of this house. They've witnessed chairs moving and glass breaking of their own accord, and the sounds of a child running up and down the hallway laughing, which would, I don't care how friendly that thing is, that is somewhat terrifying. Both customers and waitstaff have encountered him, and a few have even seen him. Even more terrifying. Visitors to the restaurant can catch a firm glimpse of him with his portrait hanging right there in the middle of the hallway, and I'll show you a picture of that real quick, what he looks like. But you can see here, these windows, this architecture probably hasn't changed much at all. They may have put a new roof on at one point. It's a metal roof. But this house stretches back all the way, this whole wing back here. I'm curious that if some of this was built on just for the restaurant. I'm not too sure. It looks a little bit more modern than basically up to this point right here. But I don't know. It could have been built that way. See that old chimney on the top? See if I can zoom in there for you. I love those old chimneys like that, and the windows. Those old mysterious windows that you see in these old Victorians. Stained glass. You can see right through them, and you can tell this glass here, even right here, is a thicker, glossier, I'm getting bugs on me here, glass, a thicker, glossier glass, almost like a silk-looking kind of glass, almost like you can tell how different it was made back then. That's kind of creepy to think about, and if anything was going to look out at you through those windows, you can just see right up in there. which I hope not to do, but yeah, this place has been a staple for years and years. People always talk about it and rave about it at the restaurant, and the food is good. It's a good experience, cool experience. And I just wanted to come and take a look at it today. Again, I don't want to intrude too much here or anything, but let's see if I can catch a glimpse inside the house just for you guys. I don't want to get in people's business too much, you know, but people say that I was reading some of the articles that when they come and do early morning work, you know, they might be like the owner or somebody who comes and opens up the restaurant before anybody else gets here. They say that they have seen and heard things, which terrifies me, because I think once I would experience that once or twice, I'd pretty much be done at that point. I like those doors though, those are really pretty. This nice veranda that kind of covers the entire entranceway. Some nice brickwork. Let's go back to the other side of the house there and get another glimpse of that side. Then I'll go ahead and close it out here. But I'm going to be doing a series of these types of videos starting now and then into the fall, through the Halloween time. Because last year I didn't get to do much of it, but this time last year, not to mention that in 3 days from now, on August 15th, will actually be the official 1 year anniversary that I started this channel. What? But look at that, those stairs just lead right up to that tower looking thing there. It's so intriguing. So I could zoom up there for you. Interesting to think what that room would have served as over the years. So I'm trying to stay as steady as I can for you. But there's so much history and culture down here, as you all know if you not only watch my channel but anything about, you know, this part of the country and the South in general. But I just figured I didn't really get to do this last year, and there's so much of that down here to talk about and to show you. Not just ghost story type stuff, but, you know, like just that, you know, mysterious history and culture and all that have to do with, that are centered around these buildings and these houses, that I decided I want to kind of make a series of them. Now, I don't think it's going to be only those types of videos from now until then by any means, but it kind of dawned on me that I have the opportunity, and I happen to be in a good place for all that. So that's why I'm kind of making these types of videos. Kind of short and sweet, to the point, but interesting stories and back history. That pretty cypress tree right there. Let's see if I could see anything through this window here. Not much different view than any of the other angles of the house. I'm sorry that there's such a glare, but as you can see here, that probably was a front porch. And they closed it in. It's carpeted and everything. That actually looks like the color rug I have at my apartment. 1908, 115 years ago. See if I can get a better view inside that window there. Like some small chandelier type lantern, glass lanterns hanging in there. Kind of hard to see on the camera, I think. Easier to see with the naked eye. So yeah, if you're ever in a Broussard area, want want to try some authentic Italian and seafood and steaks and all that, I highly recommend it. I've heard nothing but great things about this place. And maybe, just maybe, while you're dining here, you might hear the footsteps of a little 4-year-old boy running up and down the halls with laughter from another world, another dimension. Beautiful house though, absolutely beautiful. And I'm wondering if the paint is original or how original that paint is, because it doesn't look new. Like, it's definitely fading and being chipping away and all that. So very intrigued to know if the house was painted that color in 1908 by the Como family, by Mr. Como himself. Now, as I'm pulling out of the Nash's restaurant parking lot, you can see some of these houses in the immediate vicinity are most likely from that same time period. Look how pretty that is. And directly catty-corner from Nash's restaurant, I didn't even notice it before, but here's another house that's definitely from that time period also. Pretty blue color. Looks like somebody lives there, which is good because somebody's keeping it up. Man, I just love that. I love that architecture. I love that time period. Let's see if we can find some other ones in this area before we close this video out. Why not? Okay, wow, I kind of hit the jackpot in this area here. Now, we're kind of in the same area as we were a couple of weeks ago when I showed you those couple of Victorian houses in the old schoolhouse and all that, but these beautiful houses that are just off of Main Street here in Broussard are just timepieces, to say the least. Look at this one. These are all on North Morgan Street in Broussard. If you want to, I recommend waiting till a cooler time of year, but grabbing a nice cup of coffee or something and just venturing from Main Street, or on Main Street where those couple of Victorian houses were or are that I showed you a couple weeks ago, like I just said. Then if you go back to North Morgan Street and walk north, you can see these houses here, these old Victorians, Victorian era houses that are absolutely beautiful. There's a sign on that one right there that says Marshall Bio Jr. House, circa 1803. See if I can get that focus for you guys. Vaguely, right there, but that's what it says. Marshall Bio Jr. House, circa 1893. I read that wrong the first time. It's getting dark out here, I'm sorry. Not 1903, 1893. 10 years earlier. Look how beautiful. I love that green color, teal color you got going on with that house. And these nice oak trees that adorn it. I tried to time this video where it wasn't so hot outside, so it's kind of a race against time. Check that out. That section of house back there, almost like a separate piece of the house that is part of this property, part of this house. Trying to do some smooth zooming. One thing I do love about my new camera, my new Canon M50, shout out to Canon once again. I just love this camera, can't say it enough. The zoom on it, the zoom I have on it, the one that it comes with, is an STM lens, which stands for silent something something. Maybe silent transition, I don't know. I'm just speculating. But it doesn't click or make these weird zoom noises when I zoom in and out. Look at this little cottage or bungalow style house here. No sign on it or anything, but it definitely fits in this area with the other houses. I wanted to walk back here to show you this building. Well, there's another. Look at this one. It says Francois Janin House. Janin, Janin, I guess. Francois Janin House, circa 1893. So built the same year as that other one. There's a cat right there on the table. Hey, kitty cat. You see him? Her? It? Just taking a look at your house. For those of you who do watch my channel or who randomly come across my videos, I hope you do enjoy these as I do. More about the architecture than anything else, you know. Of course, the beauty and the history of them by all means, but I'm more fascinated with just the architecture and all that, you know, just the American history. I do plan on doing vlogs in other states and all that, and parts of the country that have other types of architecture from long ago. I'm just fascinated in all of it. I don't know what this building is here. I guess I could try to do some research on it, but I just kind of stumbled upon it. But it's like almost like an old depot kind of look to it. I don't know what else to call it or what else to assume it is, but and again, it is kind of getting dark out, so I'm in a race against time. Maybe it used to be a store or something. I do apologize for the traffic I'm right up against here. All here right off of Main Street in Broussard, Louisiana on North Morgan. Very intriguing building here. I wonder what it was or what it is. There's no signs out front or anything, except for that do not block the driveway sign. If you go north right there, facing this way is where we were just now. We crossed over some railroad tracks about 150 yards ahead of us right there, and then Nash's Restaurant's right there on the right. And this place is Bonjour Gifts and Decor. By no means am I trying to be a travel guide to this town, but there is some very nice things to look at. Like I said, it's a perfect area to, if you're visiting it, you know, come park dead center in downtown Broussard here in Louisiana, South Louisiana, and get a cup of coffee or tea or something and walk around, look at the old schoolhouse that I showed on the other vlog a couple of weeks ago, and some of the old Victorian houses and architecture right in this immediate area. There's a bunch of them to see. Main Street and then on Morgan Street. They intersect each other and there's a lot to see. So, with that, I'll go ahead and close out this vlog. Hope you enjoyed the ghost story, along with the beautiful architecture and scenery here in this ridiculously hot time of year in the South that none of us are enjoying. I do apologize again for the traffic noise here. Take one more glimpse at this gorgeous Victorian underneath this gorgeous oak tree. And if there's any places like Nash's Restaurant that have any really interesting history to it or any cool things we can look at, feel free to comment in the comments below and let me know about them, and I will definitely put them on my list for if and when I end up in your area, which I'd like to say when, not if. And I like to travel and see all these things as much as I can, so give me your ideas, your places, locations, all that stuff. You guys have a great rest of your weekend. It's Sunday night here, probably about 8:15, 8:30. p.m. Have a great week ahead of you. Stay cool, stay dry, and stay tuned. Man, I might be my new catchphrase for closing my videos out. Stay cool, stay dry, and stay tuned. The stay dry one might not stick because it depends on the weather, but you know what I mean. You guys have a great one. Love you all. God bless. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you all soon.